We often experience the world as a lonely node, a tiny, isolated point of awareness drifting through a massive and indifferent universe. Our everyday senses draw a hard line at the skin, strictly dividing reality into an inside that we call the self and an outside that we call the world. In physics, this common sense assumption is called local realism. It's the idea that objects have definite properties and only interact with things in their immediate vicinity. For most of human history, this separation was the foundational rule of reality. But recent data suggests that the boundary between you and everything else is an ancient misunderstanding. In 2022, a series of loophole-free experiments tested a concept known as Bell's theorem. The results were conclusive. The universe is not locally real. These tests measured quantum entanglement, where two particles are born from the same event and drift light years apart across the vacuum. When one is touched, the other reacts instantly. They don't communicate across distance. They behave as if the distance doesn't exist. This proves that space-time is a clever storyteller. It creates the appearance of distance, but the underlying reality never actually divided these particles. These anomalies aren't confined to subatomic particles in a vacuum. Between 2023 and 2025, researchers began spotting the same quantum signatures inside living systems. We see these entanglement-like correlations in the way plants harvest light and the way birds use the Earth's magnetic field to find their way home. Now, those same faint signatures are appearing in the microtubule networks of the human brain. If the same coherence that guides a bird or powers a leaf is pulsing in our own neural tissue, then we are not isolated biological machines. We are localized nodes within a single entangled field of life. While these findings make materialist science uncomfortable, the ancient rishis of India expected them. Our modern equations are finally catching up to what the Upanishads recorded thousands of years ago. They used the term Sat to describe the undivided wholeness of reality, the source from which all seemingly separate particles arise. They described Chit as the foundational luminosity, or awareness. In this view, entanglement isn't a puzzle to be solved, but the natural state of a universe that was never broken. Finally, they spoke of Ananda, the bliss of the universe recognizing its own face in the mirror of relationship. Entanglement is simply non-duality's echo in the laboratory. It is the measurable footprint of a reality that has always been one. In this light, the ancient phrase Aham Brahmasmi, or I am the Absolute, functions less like a religious chant and more like a detonation of the ego. When you grasp this, the analytical tension of the scientist's mind begins to relax. It is the profound feeling of the universe finally exhaling after 14 billion years of holding its breath. This leads to the ultimate statement, Tat Vam Asi, Thou art that. Thou art that has transitioned from a poetic metaphor into a literal measurement outcome, verified by the very equations we use to map the stars. To feel this, sit quietly. Shift your attention away from the screen and into the physical sensation of your own body. Find the subtle tension in your chest or your hands, the physical grip that still insists there is a hard boundary between you and the room around you. Silently repeat the ancient measurement outcome. That which I am, the entire field is. And the thing watched quietly merge. This is Prajnanam Brahma, pure consciousness, wearing the latest data like a cloak of fire. The I reading these words and the universe those words describe are the same fire, finally recognizing itself.